Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Jeanette Biro here. I'm a medium and a channeler. Welcome to your weekday daily card reading where we dive into the cards, see what's in store with a message from Spirit. All right, I've got one jumper already. And this week we're using the Awakening Avalon Oracle deck that I created at Avalon Spirit. And let's see what is in store. If you're enjoying these cards and you would like to get yourself some, there is a link in the description box below. All right, Spirit, what do we have going on today? Let's see. They're talking about transformation. Transformation is going to be a key theme throughout the summer. So notice how you're continually transforming. When you notice and pay attention, again, the notice what you notice card from yesterday. When you put time into noticing what you notice, you will stay on point with your transformation. And that's really where you want to be. You want to be like in flow with it is what they mean by on point. All right, let's see what's in the cards. Okay, very cool. So our jumper card is meditate. This says take time out to go within, and this is so very true. So right now with these integrations, bringing an energy of meditation is going to be so helpful for you. And meditation, like I've said before, can be so many different things, from walking meditation to chanting or mantras or painting, even painting a wall. I know when I paint walls in the house, I find it so meditative. And it keeps my left brain busy essentially so that my right brain can expand and explore. And so consider what meditation is to you as well. It can be 2 minutes or it can be half an hour. It's whatever you have time for. But a key thing right now is going to be kind of like a sacred daily practice. And that's just a daily practice of tuning into yourself, what's happening within self, and then what's happening in the energetics or spirit. And if you do this like little check-in regularly, you're going to have such a beautiful communication, kind of like a bridge that is so open that it's easier to access from both sides. So meditation is going to be great. It's also going to be great for recalibrating. Now, Spirit is saying a couple things here, which is interesting. In this meditative state, connecting into your undercurrent is going to be so big. And this is really that soul truth, that soul resonance. That undercurrent is that really steady point at the very core of your being that will always speak the truth. When you connect to your undercurrent, you're also really connecting to your higher self. You're connecting to your soul essence. And in this undercurrent is where it's like you can't lie to yourself here. The energy doesn't lie. And that's why it's such a powerful thing to tap into, because you will get soul truth. And I think we've all been there in times where we're trying to convince ourselves of something, right? Like, oh, I really want to do this thing, or I'm sure this is good for me. And when you really feel into it, you know there's something that's not right. Deep down inside, that's the undercurrent. Or when you feel deep down inside, like, yes, this is the right move, I just know it, that's that undercurrent. So tapping into your undercurrent right now with meditation, time spent going inward is really going to help you to stay on point with the transformations that are happening. Now, an interesting thing too is this Ancestors Gather card. This says call on your ancestors. And this is really neat because this tells me that there are so many in spirit that are coming forward to help with these transformations right now, with this new manifestation into reality. As well, they're showing me again the converging, collapsing timelines that I was talking about yesterday. And they're saying as these timelines collapse, it also helps to change some of the energetic signatures within your ancestry too, your biological ancestry. So it's like the healing that you do in this timeline really does have a ripple effect, not only forward in our linear view into the future and the generations that come after us, but also it ripples back into the past, because essentially all things are happening at the same time. So there are a lot of ancestors gathering around you right now and encouraging you in your movement forward and encouraging you to continue this transformation, because the transformation on this planet right now is so hot. Like, it is happening, it is burning. It is like a full forest fire type burn. Like, it's not slowing down. And so there's more and more support coming from the spirit side for those that are here, because the demand on those that are here is so much. And I think all of you watching can in some way be shaking your head and being like, yeah, like, I agree, in various different ways, right? Like, we're all here having our own individual journey, but it is all in this whole trajectory of massive growth and transformation. That's really what's happening right now. So something to consider. Now, also in this quiet state, we get the clairaudience card, and this says, listen to spirit. So to me, this tells me that the spirit world is going to come through with more information for you in a way of like communication. And this can be whispers. And I don't mean like creepy Hollywood movie whispers. I mean like the whispering of knowledge in the back of your mind. I don't know if I'm sure there are some of you out there that know this, but you know those times where you are doing something and you're working and all of a sudden a song comes on in your mind out of nowhere, and it wasn't one you were listening to. Maybe you haven't even heard it for like a decade. Suddenly it comes on in the back of your mind. You catch yourself singing it and you're like, where'd that come from? That's an example of how spirit can come through and bring through a message in sort of like a whisper. And if you go and you listen to the lyrics or you read the lyrics and you're like, wow, that's like actually the answer I needed right now, that's a way that they can bring in this kind of clairaudient experience. Another way they can do this is through actual songs we hear on the radio, conversations we overhear as well from other people that happen to say the right thing. Maybe like, say your magical symbol is ladybug, and you're waiting for 3 signs from spirit of a ladybug, and maybe you had one in the morning, and then you hear somebody else say, oh yeah, and there was this little girl in the cutest ladybug jacket, and you're like, oh my God, ladybug again. That's another way that we can hear spirit. And then as well, spirit is also wanting to come through more and more, like as you tap into this energy and as we connect into our ancestors as well, we're really starting to bridge the gap of dormancy and being awake. We're really stepping into the energy now of being awake. And what that means is like tapping back into our natural skills and abilities of clairsentience, clairvoyance, clairaudience, all of that. So some of you may also start to hear spirit subtly in your mind. And it should always be in a way that is like comforting and calm. Spirit never wants to like make us afraid. That's a form of a manipulation. When it's your spirit guides, it's in a way to bring in comfort, which is why usually they'll come in with songs or like gentle thoughts that come in your mind before they're like, hey, my name is Joe and I'm your spirit guide, and they're just talking in your head. That would be too jarring. So most of the time they'll try and bring it in really subtly until you're more comfortable with it. So all to say, notice if this starts to come through for you as well. Last thing they're reminding me with clairaudience is they're saying sometimes too with clairaudience, you can hear the change of frequency in the world around you by a ringing in your ears. Now, I want to say that tinnitus sometimes does have medical reasons for why it's happening, absolutely. But there are times where when it comes on absolutely randomly and then goes away, you're picking up on a change in frequency because you're attuned to the frequency of 3D. And when you start to tune into the frequencies of something higher than 3D, it will actually make a ringing in your ear. And so oftentimes I can tell spirit is near because it'll pick up a ringing in my ear, and then that causes me to tune in energetically, and then I start to have a conversation. So sometimes that ringing can be your spirit guides coming near. So it's a great opportunity to connect with them as well. And also, lastly, you can always tell them it's a little bit too much, and they can pull that energy away and the ringing will dissipate. So something to consider. All right, everyone. I will leave that with all of you. Thank you so much for joining me as always. I will see you tomorrow. Have a beautiful rest of your day.